Welcome to the video on installing the Windows Server inside of Proxmox. Okay, so by now you should be getting used to installing virtual machines on Proxmox. So once again, we go to the node and then we go over to the upper right to create VM. And this is going to be our Windows Server, which is going to act as a domain controller for that eCore network. So I'm just going to call this DC1. It's probably it's the only domain controller I'll install, but I'll go ahead and just have a -1 in case I want to add another one later. So for operating system, storage is going to be local. And now we pick our ISO, which is of course the server. And then we'll select Windows. And once again, for version, we see 11/2022/2025, and this is a Windows 2025. And we need to add the virtual driver, just as we did when we created the Windows 11 VM. So we'll go down to virtual win. And that's the only thing we're going to do on this section. And we'll go over to system. We'll keep Q35, which we have all along. We do need to add the TPM because this is just like the Windows 11. The same rules apply with Windows Server 2025, where you have to have EFI and TPM. Now we can go ahead and select QEMU agent and then select disk. Once again, I'm going with 100 gigabytes on all my VMs just to make it simple. Then when we go to CPU, I'm going to bump that to 2. And for memory, I'll keep it at 4 right now. And then we go to network. Once again, we're not really setting up the network yet. We will do that in a future video, but we can go ahead and disable firewall. We'll keep everything else the same and we'll select next. This just confirms everything and we can select finish. Now you'll see over on the left, takes a second, but once it pops up with the name of the virtual machine that we gave it, then you can go ahead and start it just by right-clicking and then selecting start. And then we'll highlight it and go over on the upper right to console, drop down and choose no VNC. And then we will press any key to continue. And this is just like we did with the Windows 11. We're going to have to select one of these DVDs and we'll just start with the top. And there we go. So we need to select any key. We've done that. So now you see the installation process, and this is going to be almost identical to the way we set up Windows 11. I'm going to keep those, and then make sure you select agree to everything, select next. Now on this one, what we want to do is just a standard evaluation. Make sure that you select desktop experience. And then go ahead and select next. And we will go ahead and accept the terms and conditions. Now, once again, because we haven't installed the driver yet, it doesn't recognize the disk. So just select load driver. And then we will browse to our virtual Win disk that we set up earlier. We want to hit the drop down. We're choosing the AMD and then choose the 2K 2025. And we can select OK. And now we see it. We want to highlight it. And then we select install. And now we recognize the disk, so we're ready to hit next. All right, so it tells us we're ready to install. We'll go ahead and select install. And we'll go through this process just like with the Windows 11. It's going to shut down a couple times and restart. So I'm going to pause the video until it requires some interaction. Okay, so it's restarted a couple of times, and now we're at this point where it's asking us for the password for the administrator. So go ahead and assign a password for the administrator. And then we can select finish. So remember, it's the username will be administrator, one word, capital A. Now you can set up other accounts once we get it installed, but the first time we sign in, it will be as administrator. So to hit Control-Alt-Delete, what we need to do from the No VNC is over on the left-hand side, we can select that arrow. And what we want to do is select that very first option, which is Show Extra Keys. We hit Show Extra Keys, and we want to hit this bottom button is Control-Alt-Delete. And now we can log in. So we want to log in with the password that we just created. And now we're waiting for it to load. Now, so once it opens up, what we want to do is do the same thing we did with Windows 11 is we're going to have to install the driver for the network adapter. Looks like there's some more installation we need to do first. All right, so everything seems to be working. So go down to the Windows key, right click, then choose Device Manager. And then come down to the Ethernet controller, right click that and update driver. We want to browse the computer for the drivers. And once again, hit browse. And we're going to that virtual WIN disk, hit the drop down, and then scroll down to Net KVM. And for this one, we need 2K2025 or just 2K25. Hit the drop down, select AMD, then select OK, and now we can select Next. And it's installed now, so we can close it. And you can tell if you're successfully installed because once again, down on the network icon on the tray in the bottom right, we see we have network and internet access. Once again, we're not going to worry about the IP address or anything yet because we're going to set up networking later. But this completes the install for Windows Server. And in the next video, we will install pfSense.